Jerry Judy traded to the Browns. This one's interesting to say the least. Jerry Judy's got a lot of talent, but will he translate in Cleveland? Is it too crowded in Cleveland? Is Cleveland even the right spot? Is Denver making a mistake? Are they making a good move? We're breaking down this trade. Jerry Judy to the Cleveland Browns. Breaking news, file on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news
From the
breaks.
FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
This one is quite shocking, I guess you could say. Not confirmed yet, but in the works. Can't be announced until Wednesday at the beginning of the new league year. Can't be processed until Wednesday. But here's the deal. 2 picks the Cleveland Browns sending in exchange for Jerry Judy are a 2024 5th and 6th round pick or picks per source, according to Adam Schefter. Again, can't be agreed upon or executed until Wednesday, the beginning of the new league year. Now the Browns have Elijah Moore, Amari Cooper, Jerry Judy, and a very questionable quarterback in Deshaun Watson. And I know a lot of people are going to say Watson's going to have a big year. This is the year Watson comes out and looks great. The crazy part is, I mean, we just saw this unfold. The Cleveland Browns playoff team, this is last year's bracket, KC, San Francisco, this whole thing's played out, obviously. Cleveland Browns, I mean, number 5 seed, got knocked off by the Houston Texans, sure, but this is a team that has a lot of talent, so much that it overcomes the deficiency that is Deshaun Watson. I don't know that Watson, I don't know that they can use all these wide receivers. I don't know that they can maximize the abilities and capabilities of these 3 guys, to be honest with you. Not with Deshaun Watson. I don't believe in Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson is a glorified version in terms of contract and bad deal and bad situation and forced to use him. You got to use him. You got to go down the road. You don't want to go down the road. You hold your breath. You plug your nose. It's a glorified version of Danny Dimes. Like you don't want to go down the road, but you have to. 2 of the worst contracts in the NFL are 2 quarterback contracts. 2 of the worst contracts in the NFL are Danny Dimes and Deshaun Watson. And honestly, Bears fans, I hate to break it to you, but Deshaun Watson ain't taking you anywhere. You better have a good backup plan. Joe Flacco wants to maybe go somewhere else and figure out if he can, get some kind of gig. I don't know that you have. Not to mention, even if you had Joe Flacco, even if you had Watson backed up, do you have him backed up enough to win a Super Bowl to march through a playoff win or 2? I don't think so. Watson's also potentially facing more legal questions, right? We don't know if he'll actually be suspended by the league or anything, but there is word coming down that Watson is not in the clear from the upcoming unsolved or unconcluded cases, civil cases against him in court. So we got that whole thing we got to worry about. Will he actually be, will he actually be suspended again, or anything like that? We don't know. We have no idea. Watson's a debacle. Jerry Judy traded to the Browns. What's it mean? Can he even be good there? Look, he's had trouble staying healthy. He's a very talented guy, one of the better route runners, thought to be one of the better route runners. I don't know that we feel that way anymore. In the league, walking into his rookie year, his second year, can't stay healthy, can't get the ball effectively. And we see him in a Denver situation where I felt like it could have unfolded. It should have unfolded properly, and it didn't. So how do we expect Judy to go to Cleveland where he's got a quarterback that can't in my opinion, get this team over the hump, and they do better without him. How's Judy going to come out and with Njoku and with Elijah Moore, with Amari Cooper? Who knows if Nick Chubb will even be healthy at all? How is Judy going to stand out on this team? Does he help them win? Maybe. But let me ask you this question. Were you excited about Jerry Judy in Denver in 2024? If the answer is no, then why would you be all that excited about him in Cleveland? Now, do I think this trade was horrible for the Browns? Not really. I mean, a 5th and 6th round pick, a little bit more costly than I would have guessed. I would have said maybe a 6th round pick alone. But the trade was 2 picks that Cleveland is sending to Denver in exchange for Jerry Judy are a 2024 5th and a 2024 6th round pick. So, like, one of these, maybe. And again, I don't know that it's going to work out. But one of those picks, but both of them, I don't think Jerry Judy's, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be doing anything. I don't think it's going to do anything to this situation. I don't think they have the quarterback ability. Steve Smith is laughing at the Browns right now. I wouldn't blame him. I don't blame him at all for laughing at the Browns. Browns are such a good team too, aside from the quarterback. You know, aside from the biggest component that is standing in the way of this team, the defense is phenomenal. They've got a bunch of talent, the capability of not only making the playoffs, but winning multiple playoff games. And here they are sitting with Deshaun Watson and forced to use him because his contract is absolutely ridiculous. His contract is the worst contract in the NFL. The trade was the worst trade probably in the NFL, in NFL history. The Deshaun Watson contract, let me pull up his contract and just show you how ridiculously bad this $230 million fully guaranteed deal is, and what kind of dilemma and debacle, what kind of situation the Browns are put in to have to use the guy. There's no other choice. I mean, okay, let me backtrack a little bit and say that the worst contract in the NFL was, it still is Deshaun Watson. Number 2, instead of Danny Dimes, you know what it probably was? Russell Wilson's, and then Danny Dimes. But Russell Wilson's contract is no longer in play. He's now talking with teams, expected to be with a new team very soon. Visiting with the Steelers yesterday, a preliminary talk with the Giants. But this right here, ladies and gentlemen, it takes the cake. It's the worst contract in the history of the NFL. It's the worst trade in the history of the NFL. It's the worst of everything that we've ever seen in the NFL. And this is a quarterback that I think is going to end up going down as the worst product in a trade. Return on investment that we've seen we'll see in decades. 2024 highlighted column in the middle, or row, highlighted row in the middle shows you that in 2024, actually, let me see if I can put a line here so you guys can follow along. Let me just make this red color. Or actually, we'll go blue. There we go. Okay. So here's the contract. Follow along. Blue line. 2024, $46 million base salary. What happened was in 2022, his base salary was $402,000. His signing bonus was $8 million. He was suspended, so I believe he didn't get some of this money until this next year, if I remember correctly. But $1 million signing bonus of $8.9 million again, and then dead cap at that point was $220 million. So the dead cap, so $229 million by the end, or by the beginning of year 2 with the Browns, his dead cap was still $220 million. So $9 million it got knocked off. As he walks into this very season, 2024, his base salary is $46 million. The next season, $46 million. The next season, $46 million. The dead cap if he was cut today, $200 million. This is why they're forced to use him. They're forced to start him. 2025, $46 million base salary, $8.9 million signing bonus. His dead cap next year is $136 million. His dead cap in 2026 is $72.9 million. Still worse than Danny Dimes. Still worse than really anybody in the National Football League. I believe this is still worse than Russell Wilson. So they're not going anywhere. He is their starting quarterback. I venture to say by 2026 they will make a decision, because it's going to be too many years in a row this fan base has to endure Deshaun Watson. So he might get released, or there'll be some sort of unraveling at that point. I don't believe in this man at all. I don't know how this is going to shake out with Jerry Judy. I don't know if Jerry Judy will deliver any sort of, production to our liking in 2024. He's been very inconsistent his entire career. And I think, maybe to the point of some of the questions in here, the comments talking about if Amari Cooper leaves in a year or whatever, maybe Jerry Judy develops. But at what point, Ziggy, how old is Jerry Judy? At what point does he...
Jerry Judy is 24 years old and was born on April 24th.
So he turns 25. Turns 25. Ziggy off. He turns 25 years old. Turns 25 years old before the season starts. Plays out this year. Turns 26 years old before the season starts. The next season. I mean, he's got time, but I don't know that he becomes some sort of Someone's here for the first show. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Phone lines will be open here in a second. Dial in if you want. I'll just tell you this. If you're a Browns fan, you got a home here. I know some Browns people might be watching right now. Some Browns fans. 131 of you in here. Please punch the thumb up button. We only have 39 thumbs up. You're welcome here. This is not a negative space for Browns fans. Just because you hear me talking trash about Deshaun Watson doesn't mean that I'm talking trash about the fan base. So you're welcome here. I think the majority of the fan base that knows really what the reality of the situation is, they probably too feel that this is a debacle and they're just trapped. It's like a bad dream kind of. You're in a bad dream if you're a Browns owner, because you have literally, and I'm admitting this to you, I'm telling you the truth. You have such a good team from top to bottom. You have one of the best assembled teams in the National Football League. You are just in prison with your quarterback. You are in prison to a quarterback that you have to roll with. You can't change. There's nothing you can do about it. And unfortunately for Browns fans, they have to endure and watch their team completely botch this situation for the next 2 or 3 years because they're financially tied to them. That's what it is. And it sucks to be a Browns fan, I'm sure, because you're sitting there staring at one of the most well-built teams in the National Football League from top to bottom. Defense, who knows what your running game situation is going to be in 2024. You got to address that because Nick Chubb is not going to be ready. Nick Chubb is not going to be solid. But yeah, I know a couple Browns people will be in here upset. You know what I'm saying? Real King, what's up? They did this to themselves, says Real King. Ricky, appreciate you being here. Perps in the building today. Deshaun Watson immediately best QB in Dynasty and in the NFL, says Ricky C. Maybe not. Maybe not. Michael, I've always thought Judy was good talent, but Denver wasn't a good fit for him. He's now going to the Browns. If Cincy lets Boyd go, get a Judy to replace him. Yeah, I don't know. The problem with this situation is it's the worst team to go to. You know, your questionable quarterback situation, your crowded right wide receiver room that you can't even fully utilize anyway. And you're going to go get Judy. Like, the Browns have bigger fish to fry than Jerry Judy. Can I ask you a question? Why not trade? Or why not bring in, maybe they will, why not bring in a running back? Don't tell me Nick Chubb. You got Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb tore his knee completely up. I don't understand this move. It doesn't make any sense. This immediately skyrockets Amari Cooper. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it does anything positive to Amari Cooper. I think Judy becomes dormant again. I don't think this has any impact on his value. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Probably because the Browns didn't want him, you know. But other than that, I mean, I don't know that he's sharing the number 2 sharing the number 2 wide receiver, maybe third pass catching role. I mean, Njoku's got more of a presence than Judy will. At some point, you don't flourish as a wide receiver. You're probably not gonna do anything. You know, you're not gonna do anything at 28 years old. You're either gonna already be who you are. You're either gonna break out. You're either gonna have a great career ahead of you, and very, very easy to see unfold situation. Just went absolutely down the tubes in Denver. Wasted talent. Watson, is like Michael Vick, slowly drifting into the shadows of the red light. Okay. Any publicity is good publicity. Sell him to the Watson owner. I think Garrett's talking about what you should do if you own Jerry Judy. I don't think anybody's going to buy him, though. You know what I mean? You could try. You're right. I mean, there's buzz. Maybe somebody will take him. You probably can't even get the equivalent of the draft value that the NFL draft value was equated to fantasy value, a 5th and a 6th round rookie pick. I don't know if anybody wants to roster him. You know what I mean? You could call up Bob and go, "Hey, Bob, I will trade you Jerry Judy for a 5th and 6th round rookie pick." And Bob would go, "Let me check on that. Do we even have a roster spot? Oh, we'd have to cut Elijah Moore, or we'd have to cut our backup tight end. Yeah, we don't have room for Jerry Judy. You could offer us, yeah. All right, bye. Yeah, we won't take him for free, Bob. Yeah, we will not take him for free. Draft picks, we don't mind sending you a 5th and 6th round pick. Problem is, we can't roster Jerry Judy. Okay, thank you, bye." That's how your conversation is going to go. No one wants Jerry Judy in fantasy football. Phone lines are open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Yeah, I can't wait for the new league year. Wednesday's going to be lit. Wednesday's going to be amazing. We're going live multiple times per day, probably all week long. 142 of you in here. At least it's football talk. At least we got football talk here. Paulie says Watson is mediocre. Cleveland needs to lean on their defense, of course. Imagine if they had a better quarterback, though. Judy adds a nice depth, but is going to turn them into a pass-first offense. I don't think Judy Look, Paulie, I appreciate you, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying. But Judy doesn't come over and turn an offense into a passing attack, bro. You know what I mean? Oh, God, they acquired Judy. They're gonna hold on. Sound the alarm. They acquired Jerry Judy. This offense is turning into a heavy passing attack. You know what I'm saying, Paulie? I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I'm not clowning on that. But acquiring Jerry Judy doesn't transform your offense. You know what I mean? It doesn't do anything. He's a dormant player. He'll remain a dormant player for the most part, but it doesn't transform or shift the offense into anything. He hasn't been able to do it for how many years now, bro? A lot of years. Multiple years. Handful of years. League-altering trade. I know. I kind of wish when I saw this, I'm like, okay, I gotta go live on this. This is breaking news, But like, I don't know that. Smitty, the only channel out there immediately live streaming when news breaks. Show some appreciation. Hit the like button is what Andrew's trying to say. Yeah, I had to go live on this, but I was like, damn, I wish it was a little bit bigger news. I wish it was a little bit bigger impacting for fantasy football. I wish somebody got traded that has a significant impact to not only fantasy football drafts, but fantasy football and the NFL. Amari Cooper going to eat. I don't really understand this whole Amari Cooper is going to eat now comment that I see a lot of the time creeping in here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that this helps or really hurts him, but I don't know if it, like, increases his value. Is your thinking that opposing defenses now are going to have too much to worry about and Amari Cooper is going to be wide open, down the side of the sideline, just streak into the end zone by himself all the time? I don't really understand that. No one's double teaming Jerry Judy. Like, nothing really changes. So Elijah Moore is better than Jerry Judy right now because he knows the offense. Changing teams is never an easy feat for a wide receiver. It can be done, obviously, but sometimes you struggle the first year moving teams, and I just don't think with Njoku, with Amari Cooper, it's not like and Elijah Moore, it's not like you have a situation where Jerry Judy comes in and just distracts the defense, or like the earlier comment, like this is going to turn this team into a heavy passing attack. like I love my boy who said that. Who said that again? Yeah. How many old head wide receivers had a great year last year? Imagine Wilson problem, new scenery, new QB1 might do him some good. Maybe it does, Polo. I'm not saying Judy doesn't have an uptick in attitude, production, drive. I mean, that alone, right? You're tired. You're in a rut. You're in Denver. You're watching turnover. You're watching, your quarterback come in, then leave, and just total debacle, right? If you're Jerry Judy, you want out, okay? And where are you going? A winning team. Where are you going? A team that has arguably one of, if not, some would say, the greatest defense in the National Football League. You just might not know that they're the greatest. They're one of the greatest to you, but you might not know that they're capable of being the greatest because their offense maybe doesn't give them as much support as they could, and that has a trickle-down effect. But, like, you got to think from a Jerry Judy perspective, he feels better getting out of Denver. Why would he want to be in Denver? You know what I mean? Like, it's been an unraveling. Now, he's going to a place that's going to be a smidge better, not great, but this is a winning team. It's a culture that feels like, God, this is a playoff team. It's a playoff contending team. They know what they're doing here, right? Right? Yeah. Yes and no. Yes and no. For the most part, yes. That's the problem. The Cleveland Browns know what they're doing, except for at the quarterback level. They are fully committed, balls deep committed into this deal with Deshaun Watson that they can't get out of, as I alluded to, explained, and put on screen right here and showed every single one of you. They are fully committed to this deal. As of 2024, his dead cap is still $200.9 million. That means they've only paid him or that means the only dead cap relief they've gotten in the last 2 years has been $29 million. If they cut him today, his $229 million guaranteed deal, they still owe $200 million, 201 in dead cap if they were to move on. They're not even close to being able to decide to move on from this guy. 2025 dead cap of $136 million. He's here to stay no matter how bad he plays. No matter how bad he is, they're fully committed. And that's the problem. They got themselves, this is why all the owners in the NFL were so pissed off about this deal. They got themselves tied and married to this man, Deshaun Watson. No matter what, he is their future. He could go out and crap the bed hardcore. You have to stick with him. After 2 years... After 2 years, maybe they make some kind of crazy Russell Wilson type move. Cutting Russell Wilson, I told everyone that was going to happen. Remember all the people that said they can't cut him, the dead cap's huge. No, they made the decision. They showed their hand. to everybody and made it clear a month ago they were going to cut him. They're moving on. When you're moving on from somebody and you can't get somebody to bite and trade, and we said, who's going to trade for Russell Wilson's contract when he's about to become completely free? Nobody was the answer I told everyone that came into the live stream and said they're not going to just cut him, they're going to trade him. Nobody wanted to trade for Russell Wilson's contract. Nobody wants to trade for Deshaun Watson. Nobody wanted the Browns to sign him to that contract. You know when somebody in your league's about to pull off a bad trade and you're like, yeah, go ahead and do it. Do it. Do a bad trade. You know, you're almost excited that Bill over here from accounting is trading with Maggie from Repo. And Bill's about to sell the farm to Maggie. Maggie's going to take Bill to the cleaners. And you're there with your popcorn, just watching this debacle and train wreck. These owners, these 31 other owners in the NFL, didn't even want this trade to go down. Why? They didn't want this contract to be handed out. Why? Because it affected them. And there was an uphill battle with quarterbacks and contracts for about a year. The remnants of this stupid contract by the Cleveland Browns, the worst contract in NFL history, had remnants and affected contract negotiation for a year and a half. They had to reset the tone of guaranteed money because the Browns went out and did something that pissed off 31 other teams. They gave this man, Deshaun Watson, $229 million. No. $230 exactly million guaranteed at the top left corner. 5 years, $230, fully guaranteed. Fully guaranteed. If they cut him the day after they signed, all of it, dead cap. Next year, $220, dead cap. This year, $200, dead cap. The dead cap from last year and this year changed by less than $900,000. This is the worst contract in the history of the NFL. This is the worst trade and contract combination in the history of the league. If there's a parallel universe out there of NFL football, they have not made this trade in an alien world. Nobody. This is the worst trade in the universe. If there is a league out there in a parallel universe or a different galaxy far, far away, they didn't make this trade. We send this trade log in a rocket ship out into the other galaxies and hope for contact. They'll read this trade log and think this culture, this community, this world is a bunch of idiots. No, other teams didn't want this deal. It created problems for what spanned over more than a year of players thinking, I get a guaranteed deal now. This is now the NBA. Supermax contracts, let's go. I want a fully guaranteed. Remember Debo? I want a fully guaranteed deal. All these guys wanted fully guaranteed deals. Appreciate all of our new people in here. I know there are going to be a lot of Brown fans in here. And look, you're welcome here. I don't want you to think I'm a Browns fan hater or a Browns hater. I've already told you, your team is so good from top to bottom. Your team's phenomenal from top to bottom, minus the quarterback position. This team right here, I feel bad for Browns fans. They're just imprisoned into this situation. The team is beholden to the quarterback that they cannot get rid of. And I understand Browns fans are going to be excited about him for one more year. But we're going to be here 1 year from now. And all the Browns fans in here right now that are saying Watson's the real deal, he'll be fine. You'll be in here going, how do we get out of this? How do we get out of this? Dial in. Oh, rock out. Marsman, rock out. You're live.
What's up, Smitty?
What's up, pal?
Yeah, I don't really think it changes much. You
Yeah.
still got a bad QB with Watson, and I think the Browns overall, they're good. But that quarterback situation with Watson, he hasn't proven that he's been good enough to see that team. like they're good except from the quarterback and ownership and front office, but coaching and players, they're pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm a Browns fan, I'm optimistic because my team's so good. But this big misstep that's sitting in the way of this situation, becoming better, it sucks because it's such a big piece. It's a piece you can't move around. It's kind of like a big eyesore in the middle of the most magnificent, art gallery with the most magnificent pieces everywhere. And all these pieces are going to go for a ton of money. Like, this is the best art gallery exhibit you've ever seen in your life. And in the middle of it is Deshaun Watson sitting right there. Just a sculpture of him,
They're trapped.
And they are trapped. They are trapped. This is the definition of being trapped. And there's no way around it. Why? Because of the guaranteed money. There's no way you even attempt to look in a different direction for 2 years. 2 more years. Even if Deshaun Watson goes out there and has a debacle of a season, then you have a situation where you're going to give it 1 more year because of the guaranteed money. Next year's guaranteed or dead cap is $136 million. It's too costly. You can't do anything about it. The only thing you could maybe do is potentially draft like a Rattler later in the draft. Grab a Milton. You know what I mean? Like, if you grab Joe Milton, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Then you're prepared. Yeah. That is smart. Because if Watson ends up busting, look how bad. The only saving grace you have as a Browns organization is if you get somebody in there like Milton, like Rattler. I'm not saying those are the answers for sure, but you get. So I predict the Browns make this move, and then I'm going to tell you that's a smart move. The Browns make this move. The Browns draft one of those 2 quarterbacks at some point. I don't know when. When is their Ziggy? When is the Cleveland Browns' 2nd round pick in the 2024 NFL draft? I just want to see what they have.
In the 2023 NFL draft.
2024, Ziggy! Ziggy off! Son of a... You're worthless, Ziggy. Browns... I have to look this up myself. Browns 2024 NFL draft picks. I just want to make sure they haven't traded everything away.
Probably in the 20s.
No, they don't have anything. There.
3rd round?
Yes. No, 2nd round. You said 20s at pick 54. Pick 54. So, that's high enough to probably land, Rattler, a Milton, etc.
Yeah.
The only way out of this is the Brock Purdy route. The Brock Purdy route. Do you hear a Niner fan, or anybody for that matter, complain about the Trey Lance debacle? The trade the trade up and the sacrificing, mortgaging the future. Do you hear a single person complain about Trey Lance?
No, they think
Nobody.
he's MVP.
No. Trey Lance. They don't complain about Trey Lance at all because of Brock Purdy.
No, they don't.
Yeah. Brock Purdy solved that problem.
MVP.
Brock Purdy got a shovel and buried that dilemma when he rose up, and they get a pass, right? And I'm not saying that the Niners don't deserve that pass, but they got a pass. And dare I say that if Brock Purdy did not develop, if Adam Peters wasn't there to help assist bring Brock Purdy in, because Adam Peters had something to do with every single one of those last mid-round and beyond draft selections, and that's why Adam Peters is going to do amazing things in Washington. He's the new GM in Washington, and now the Niners have a far less ability to accumulate good talent in the draft, and we're gonna see their first draft without Adam Peters and see how good they do. This guy was the secret sauce to everything that they did. But the only way out for the Cleveland Browns is to get a Milton, get a Rattler, and land the player. If that player plays better than Watson and it keeps Watson off the field in the 2025 season, and they have this player that they're not going to cut because he's got $130+ million dead cap, there's no way they can cut him. That's their only saving grace. I know everybody's going to say you haven't given Watson a chance. Have I really not given Watson a chance when I said last year that he wasn't going to look solid? I don't care what his record was. I don't care about anything. This is a very, very good team. This is a team that is carrying the quarterback position, and this is a team that carried Joe Flacco. This is a team that the team is, for that Browns fan in here, that's his first show. We appreciate you. I want you to understand that we love talking football. You got a home here. Just understand, and we differ on this because you got goggles on, and I don't blame you. You're a Browns fan. I appreciate that. I envy your goggles, to be honest with you. But your only way out of this is to find another quarterback, because you're fully committed to Watson unless that quarterback's on your roster. So go get Milton, go get Rattler, do it live, have a gem rise up and replace this man. Otherwise, you're going to flush 2 seasons, maybe 3 down the drain, fully committed and guilted into using Deshaun Watson based on the money. And Mr. TD's right. Like, if we're gonna say, something positive about Watson, he was elite. And for the Browns fans in here that think I'm just a Watson hater, I'm not. I loved Watson as a rookie. Loved him. He had a lot of upside. But I think Mr. TD hits the nail on the head here. Watson was elite. He was a monster. He's a top 5 rising star with the Houston Texans. But now he is broken. And it happens. Sometimes it has to do with the lack of play for so long, the cobweb effect. Sometimes it has to do with a lot of things. Josh Gordon was elite, and he never developed because of the time off and the off the field concerns, the unraveling. Deshaun Watson, in my opinion, is far from what he used to be. Far from it. Travis, you're live.
Hey, yeah, I was actually calling in to say they were only, like you said, the only shot is to get a quarterback that forces their hand. I'd even argue they might need to get like a quarterback and a receiver so they can either move on from Cooper. I know his contract's probably not that long, but or start building a new window, because as much as you hate to say it, this window where they have all this talent is going to start closing by the time they get rid of Watson in 2 years.
Yeah.
Unless they draft correctly.
Yeah. And again, this is this is not to say this is going to come true and again, innocent until proven guilty. I'm a big advocate of all that, but the facts are the facts. There's still a looming potential that the league could do something with his pending situations, but that's just a report that's out there. That's not me making stuff up. That is a report that the league has not ruled out future discipline for the ongoing case / cases that are still sitting out there. So that's just a looming possibility. No one's saying it's coming down stream like that, but there's a lot going on. This man's mentally distracted, probably still. And there's a lot of time he sat and didn't play, and that a lot of times affects a player. Josh Gordon. So as what Travis is just saying, what I was saying before that, the best move for the Cleveland Browns is at this pick 54 in the second round, draft one of the remaining quarterbacks. Hope to God you have a guy that could step in and pull Joe Flacco 2.0 for you. And then you walk into, let's say Joe Milton gets drafted by the Cleveland Browns. Kind of a solid thought, right? You don't know what he's going to be. But if you get somebody that has potential, Rattler, Milton, you get him into the backup role. Watson busts in 2024. You walk into 2025 if he has a really good finish to the year, and you have a good dilemma, because not a single person is going to be upset if this guy that's behind Watson is elite. If he's not elite and you play Milton and he sucks, It's going to be even worse for you, okay? You're going to get made fun of even worse. But if he's elite, you get a pass. You get a total pass from it. Look at Trey Lance, Brock Purdy. The Niners don't have any ramifications for making one of the worst trades, and that was too, not because Trey Lance sucked, but because they ruined Trey Lance. This is one of the most wasted amount of talents in future draft capital and everything that we've seen in some time, and no one talks about it at all. And dare I say that if Brock Purdy was not there, I was going this direction and I sidetracked myself. Shanahan wouldn't be the coach of the San Francisco 49ers today if they did not have Brock Purdy. If they did not scout him, which again was Adam Peters, part of Adam Peters, and Adam Peters at the Combine said a weird phrase that was like, "I need to find my new Brock Purdy." That to me, you can say what you want, indicates he had a heavy hand at least in Brock Purdy. If Adam Peters did not help draft Brock Purdy, Shanahan would be fired. And all the Niner fans can say what they want about that, but that's just how I perceive the situation to be. Cleveland needs their Brock Purdy. That's the only hope here.
They should hope and pray that someone falls to, like, even the end of the first towards the second. Did you say they have a second round pick?
54.
I can't remember.
54 overall.
54.
Yes. Yep. They have which is about where I think you could maybe still find a quarterback. Like, we'll see. Rattler could go higher than that. I don't know. Rattler's very impressive.
If one of these guys falls to the second round, I know they're probably hard up for picks. I don't know what they have going forward. Maybe they're starting to get their picks back now, but they need to trade up and try to grab them. If someone falls into the 40s, 30s, 40s.
Yeah, they have a third.
Might. You never know.
Here's their draft picks for 2024, according to this report. This is from. I don't know where this is from, but I think this is accurate. These are the Browns 2024 draft selection. So, like, here's what you do: you combine them together, maybe, and trade up, and make sure you get Rattler or Milton.
Yeah, like, well, imagine if I don't think he'll fall this far, but even if it's a J.J. McCarthy or Nix, or I don't.
Yeah,
but what if one of them falls to like 38 or 40?
No, you never know, but I don't think there's a chance.
Where'd Levis fall last year?
Yeah, I mean, look, anything's possible, but you're right. I mean, they could fall. They could fall further than
that happens.
Let's say they fall to like the end of round 1. Then you trade these two picks together.
Right.
Round 2,
well,
round 3. Yeah, round 2 to 3 up to the 30s, 28, 29, 27. That I'm okay with. Yeah, if a quarterback falls, boom, smash it.
That's all I'm saying is they should hope and pray someone drops, and someone more gifted than that's a little bit better than a project, because I like Milton, but I think he's a project.
Yeah. I don't know where Rattler's projected round is going to be. Let's see.
I would guess 3. Mm-hmm.
Third round. Where's Milton? Milton, projected round for Milton. I mean, he should be there like until round 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think he will be.
So you might not even need to make
that guy
trade.
Pratt. Spencer Pratt or something.
I would definitely use this 85 pick on one of those quarterbacks if they were sitting there. But I would honestly, I don't care what anybody says. I'm a little bit, rash, but I make sure I get my players. I do this in fantasy too. When push comes to shove, I don't reach any more than I have to. But when push comes to shove, I would definitely use this second rounder on a quarterback, and I wouldn't even hesitate if I'm the Browns. You have to, like, at least trade that down a little bit. Let's say Rattler's projected round is top of 3. trade down the second round and grab him or whatever, or just trade the third rounder up.
Sure.
Trade the third rounder up a little bit just to grab him. I don't know. I think Rattler's going to go. I think Rattler goes before the third round, or at least before the mid-third round. Milton, I don't really know where Milton's going to go, to be honest with you. He could go around 5 or he could go around 3.
Right.
He's climbing a lot. You're embarrassing. Y'all are embarrassing talking about. Here we go. We'll just go ahead. Now you're free. Yeah, now you don't have to worry about it. I know. We got a few negative Nancys in here that found us through the live stream of the breaking news, and that's fine. I don't mind keeping people here. I actually don't mind. What's his name? He's the Browns fan. What's his name? I forget. But like this other guy in here, constant running his mouth. Then go elsewhere. Yeah. We don't need you here. We don't keep negative people around. Just so you know. Just so you know.
Once again, another person that doesn't want you to cover all angles or something,
Yeah. I want Henry to my boys, says Mr. TD. I think Derrick Henry's going to Dallas, but who knows? Milton was a bum at Michigan. Sick Nasty says, look, Milton's very unproven. As I said, coming out of the combine, Milton is kind of... I'm just saying you got to take a chance if you're a Cleveland Brown fan. No one's saying Milton's great. Like, if anybody took that from what I said, I don't know what Milton's going to be. I don't know what Rattler's going to be. I think Rattler looks pretty decent, but I don't know what they're going to be. But you need to take a swing. You got to. If you're the Cleveland Browns, you have to grab one of these quarterbacks. And if it's not one of those two, that's fine. Grab one of the others. You got to grab somebody. You have to be proactive and try and figure out a way to get a Brock Purdy. Look, Brock Purdy was cheeks as well to everybody. He's Mr. Irrelevant. He's the last pick in the draft. You know what I mean? Like, can we all honestly say that Rattler or Milton can't become the next Brock Purdy? Nobody saw Brock Purdy coming. Except for Adam Peters, apparently. Who's going to draft JD5 to Washington, I believe. So, we don't know. We can say Milton's crap. We can say Rattler's going to be garbage. And maybe they will be. Maybe there's 2 or 3 other quarterbacks that by the time draft day comes, those are the options that I feel like the Browns should be going after. And we'll talk about that as it comes. But make no mistake about it. The second and third round pick, you got to be contemplating a lifeline out of this horrible situation. You need a Brock Purdy, or you can't move on from Watson. Henry to the Ravens. Henry's going to the Ravens or the Cowboys for sure. Here are the landing spots. I have Barkley going to Houston. I have Blake Corum getting drafted by LAC. I got Henry going to Dallas, or Jacobs going to Dallas, and then Barkley could go to Dallas too. Barkley's the one X factor. I think if Barkley goes to Houston, then I think this plays out. I think Henry goes to Dallas, Jacobs goes to Baltimore. Barkley could go anywhere he wants, and all 3 of these teams, the best landing spots are Houston, Dallas, Baltimore. They're all going to be very open-minded to Barkley. So if Barkley decides he wants to go to Houston, then I think the chips fall this way. If Barkley says, give me Dallas, then Henry's going Baltimore. Jacobs maybe goes to LAC or Houston or Philly or Cincinnati. Why Cincinnati doesn't get involved, maybe they will be a head scratcher to me, because the Bengals just need a difference maker. I mean, I don't know why the Bills and the Bengals each year don't feel like they need to go grab anybody, make a big trade, make a bold move, but maybe they just love Mixon so much. And he did do well for a handful of years. Let's not pretend like Mixon wasn't good. Maybe now they're ready. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe not. We'll have to see what Cincinnati does, and Buffalo too. Hey, Rock Out, you still there? What else you got? Hello?
Still there.
Yeah, what's up, pal?
Yeah. What move can the Lions make to get them over the hump? Is it like just being more conservative, or coaching, or what?
I think the Lions are pretty good. I mean, I don't know. You change anything too drastic, and then you just have the risk of will it all mesh well anyway, Like, I don't know. Like, as much as I want to say, hey, Goff might not be the long-term answer, like, you switch it up now, you might not win as many games and do as well. So you just kind of gotta run it back. Like, they did really well, man. When we really think about it, we can't be critical of a team that almost knocked off the San Francisco 49ers. You know, like,
They should have been in the Super Bowl.
They should have been in the Super Bowl. So, like, I don't think getting over the hump doesn't sound like the right way I would put it. They did really well. I mean, look how far this team got. They didn't belong necessarily here, and they got here, you know. And what a fantastic run. And as much as we want to rip on Campbell and all that, like, he got him there with the mentality he has. So who can really say anything? I think people are too hard on Campbell. I was a little bit hard on him, but like a little bit. Like, it's at the end of the day, that guy got them there. Like, how are we going to complain? They brought back Ben Johnson. That's a big W. And Jameson Williams should take a big step forward this year. I like him a lot. I think Laporta is going to look even better. St. Brown's a machine. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be an absolute train and freight train. And, you know, maybe Hendon Hooker's a secret weapon in case Goff gets hurt or drops off or something, you know.
And hopefully Campbell, you know, I'm not saying you want to change who he is, but hopefully he learns and has a better feel of situations now. You know, he's still a young coach.
Yeah.
So.
I think he needs to be a little smarter, like, and not just replicate, okay, rinse and repeat. Like, it got my crazy Maverick mentality got me this far. Well, you know, maybe you do learn a little bit from the situation, but, like, I mean, what do you like? The big dilemma is always, you know, do I make this move as a coach, and then if I don't, I'm going to get chastised for it. But if I get it, I'm a genius. So, you know, I don't know that he's going to change anything.
Yeah, keep like a better balance. Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, Detroit's going to be good. I don't know. He could have had a better year, rock out. You know, I don't think there's anything to really consider like I don't know. I think when Jameson Williams plays a little better this year, I think they could be pretty damn good. It's a good team.
Basically, that's like all their draft picks last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good team. You just want Hendon Hooker to work out so that you have a good safeguard at the quarterback position, because that's the downfall of every team. Like, not very many teams have a quarterback that can do like what the Browns did, you know, like Joe Flacco. I mean, he is phenomenal. Like, it made people say Joe Flacco is better than Deshaun Watson. You know, that's what people were saying all year long. It's like, look at this guy. He's, you know, nobody feels that way now because he turned into a pumpkin. But, I mean, you want that. You want Hendon Hooker to work out. Then you're set. And he was a good prospect. Like, we can't just discard him. He's coming off an ACL tear. He wasn't even able to do anything. But, like, he was kind of climbing scouting ranks, you know, walking into the draft. We got Nevin live on the phone. Nevin, you're live. What's up?
What up, Smitty?
Yo.
I was just calling in to maybe answer my opinion on the Lions take. I'm a huge Lions fan.
All right.
I think the Lions just got to get an edge rusher to put on the other side of Hutchinson and maybe a cornerback or two.
Sure. Yeah.
I think if they do those couple of things, I think they're right back where they were. And, I mean, maybe they get over the hump and make it into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, over the hump is, like I said, like a tough way to look. I mean, you guys, no offense, bro, but you over-delivered. You outplayed
Absolutely.
any capabilities you guys had. You guys did not
Absolutely.
belong where you were. And I mean that in a respectful, like be proud of yourself, pat yourself on the back way.
I totally agree with you.
And on top of that, you should have won this game. Like,
Yep.
And I don't even know that it was all your fault, because you had crazy bad luck on your side. That Ayuk reception, and then it just started going one thing after the next, and you could look at Dan Campbell. He looked like a scared kid, just going, this is unraveling on me. And that's why Dan Campbell, you know, I think made some of the decisions he made. He was extra aggressive out of fear. He was fear mode, fight or flight.
Well,
and he
I think
kind of
part of the-
flighted with fighting.
I think part of the thing was like when people rip on him, like that's his aggressiveness is what got us there, and like you got to live and die by your like what your money is. So
Yeah. Jalen Coker, yeah,
But,
I like him, Sick Nasty. I think he's also a really, really good player to snag
question.
for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sick Nasty. Go ahead. Go ahead, Nevin.
I picked up Mixon and Pollard in a dynasty league. Where
Who?
do you think they end up?
Who?
Mixon and Pollard.
Oh, in Dynasty, I don't want any part of those guys. I don't mind Pollard. We were talking last night. Pollard has a real strong shot at returning to Dallas, probably. I don't think there's a market for him.
Picked him up for free or traded for him?
Yeah.
What's that?
Did you trade for him?
Yeah, my running backs are really, really weak, and I had pretty good young receivers. So I shipped off. I had 2 first-round picks, so I shipped off one of my first-rounders and picked up some better running backs.
I don't like that. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Like if you're
it's in the viewer league. You're in the league, Smitty.
Oh yeah, it's a follower league.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know if I would have done that. What did the? Let me be honest with you. I think the chat probably didn't like it. What'd they say?
Yeah, it definitely might not work out, but I think with where my team was at, I think it was. I mean, the running backs I had were pretty terrible.
Yeah, but Mixon's gonna be 28. That's the year of drop off anyway. And Pollard's your only shot. I think Mixon Mixon could have one more good year, but at the expense of a first round pick, I don't know. And Pollard might be a backup running back. You might have traded and not even had a starter come your way. Like I would have much rather tried to trade a first rounder for, I don't know, like a rookie. Like you could easily have gotten the top rookie running back for that first rounder. I think, like if you're on the clock.
I still have another rounder.
Well, I know, but that's kind of. I know, but that's kind of irrelevant. It's kind of irrelevant what you have, other picks for. I'm just saying, like, so then okay, yeah. So let me use your logic and say, okay, then use that pick on a running back then. So now you should have traded this for a different receiver or running back upgrade or something like that, or a quarterback upgrade or something like that. I don't know. I wouldn't have traded the first rounder. I would have much rather had a shot at a rookie running back with that pick, the top one. Like I'd rather have Jalen Wright than both those guys.
So for the Pollard trade, it was Tony Pollard, a future second, and a third round this year for my first rounder, 107.
Oh, so you didn't even get Mixon and Pollard. You got just Pollard.
Well, and then the Mixon one was Mixon for Ramondre.
Oh no!
Oh no!
You just said you didn't have running backs. I really like Ramondre bouncing back this year a little bit. Ooh. Bro. I'd much rather have Ramondre than Mixon, man.
Ooh, that's tough to hear.
You just kicked me right in the sack, bro.
Yeah.
Did you get anything else with Mixon?
No.
I'm not saying Ramondre's a lock, bro. He clearly disappointed, but Bill's out of the way now. Ramondre's look. I don't know that Ramondre will ever return to a top 5 running back capability, bro. But he still has that potential. Like he's a top 5 to 10 talent that got squandered, and maybe he never relishes again in the top 5 to 10 range. Maybe fantasy owners never, ever relish again in that value. But I would be thinking if you're trading Mixon for Ramondre, you're having to give up something more with Mixon to get Ramondre in a dynasty.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Devin. I know this isn't the call you wanted.
No, for sure. I'd rather have honest feedback than you just tell me what I want to hear. But my thought was just like he missed the last 5 games of the year with injury, and he only had 1 game over 20 or 2 games over 20 points this past year.
Yeah, but you're in a dynasty league though, bro, and Mixon turns 28.
True.
Like
Ramondre's he's already played 3 seasons.
Ziggy, how old is Ramondre Stevenson?
26.
Ramondre Stevenson is 26 years old and was born on February 23rd.
Okay, so he just turned 26. So I'm not saying he's got a boatload of time left, but he's got 26, 27, and then his hold your breath 28-year-old season. So potentially, 2 and then maybe some Mixon's entering that hold your breath 28-year-old season. So this is a straight up trade that I wouldn't make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then the Pollard trade, do I like Pollard, bro? I do, but he could be a backup. First rounder?
Yeah.
If you would have kept Ramondre and then maybe drafted Wright or Braylon Allen or whoever becomes the top running back, and you probably would have had a shot at that player, and then you still would have had wherever your other pick is. Let's say it's as high to get a Dunze. Let's say you get Leggett. Let's say you can get Bowers, whatever. I mean, those are two. You got Wright, Ramondre, and Bowers or something. You're coming out pretty well. Now it's you don't have the first rounder. You got only have the other first rounder. I don't like it. Mixon to me is on borrowed time. Maybe he does well for one more year, but that's a big if. Where's he even going to play? Because he might be a cap casualty.
Yeah.
And if Mixon joins this running back stable, he's not going to compete. He's compete with your boy Pollard for a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Swift, Henry, Jacobs, Barkley, Eckler, and maybe even Singletary have a potential shot over maybe not Singletary, but everybody else over Mixon at 28 years old. I don't know.
I have Singletary on my team, but other than that, my running backs are pretty weak. It's Elliott, Singletary, Miles Sanders, and Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
I kind of leaned on my receivers, though, in this one. I got Nico Collins, Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers, Hollywood Brown, and Jaden Reed. So,
I mean, they're okay. They're good, but that's not going to carry you. Who's your quarterback?
Mahomes.
And who's your tight end?
Kelsey.
Yeah. I don't know, bro.
And then I got Chase Brown. That was on my taxi squad, just in case.
Yeah. I think it was a bad series of moves, but maybe it works out. Maybe you can turn Mixon into something else. But go ahead and try and trade Mixon. Nobody's gonna want him, bro. And I venture to say you could try and trade that same deal. This is what you got to ask yourself, bro. Chuba season fire though. Andrew says what? Chuba Hubbard season underway? I don't think so. bro. Maybe not. I'd say this, bro. This is how this should guide you in a trade. Can you flip what you're doing to anybody else? So if you're giving up a first rounder for Pollard, whatever the deal was, I don't even care about the details. Ask yourself, if you went and tried to flip that tomorrow, is there even one other owner that would take it? If not, you're overpaying. You got to stop and pause and ask yourself that question. Kind of like driving a car off the lot. If you drive a car off the lot for $40,000 and it becomes $35,000 the moment you drive it off the lot, you're overpaying.
Yeah.
You got to be able to take that car back 2 weeks ago and take a very little bath on it, or you're buying a car that has no resale value and that drops $5,000 the moment you drive it off the lot. Kind of like a Tesla. A Tesla, is one of the worst cars to buy for resale, because Elon Musk will come out and go, I'm going to cut all that model by $10,000. And then all of a sudden that car you can buy for $10,000 less brand new, your resale value got kicked right in the nutsack.
Yeah.
So next time do that. All right, boys. Anything else? Let me go to Nevin. Final thoughts, Nevin. Anything relating to the Jerry Judy trade?
No, it'll be interesting. My only thought was what happens with the Broncos receiver, but it's really just wait and see. But I appreciate you for taking my call today.
Yeah, hey Nevin, call him more often, and I hope we didn't put a damper on your day. You still got
no worries.
Go make you whenever you do a trade like this and you don't like it or whatever, make you investigate, make offers, and do things you wouldn't normally done, and have it open up a door you wouldn't have opened. You know what I mean? Just make you make another trade. You'll be fine. All right, later, bro.
See ya.
Rock out. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I think Watson got to prove that he can run the offense and actually be a quarterback of old. I don't think he'll get there, but we'll see what happens.
Yep. All right, rock out. Appreciate you.
Hey.
Travis Rowe.
Yeah, it's tough for Cleveland fans because the last I saw of Watson before he got hurt, he looked better. But I think he was just airing it out to see if his shoulder would hold up, and it blew on him because you really didn't see him throwing the way he did until the last game or two before he got hurt, which might tell you something about his injury, So it's tough because he actually had a couple decent games before he got hurt, and then obviously the run with Flacco was awesome, but good luck replicating that, So
yeah,
they got to find someone else, I think. Unfortunately,
guys, I just dropped a link right now in the live chat. That is my World of Smitty vlog channel. Episode 1, video 1 premieres in an hour, I believe. Let me see here. I think I have a schedule for an hour. Let me see. I just dropped the link right there. Click that link, hit the notification on it. Make sure you subscribe. I think it's premiering in an hour. Upcoming 1 p. Yeah, 1 hour from now. 1 hour from now, that video drops. So please join me. Hit that link. I'll drop the link one more time. Subscribe to that. 1 hour, that video drops. All right, Travis, appreciate you. I agree with you. And
Perps just dropped the 20.
Thank you, Texans. Appreciate you. Perps dropping the 20 wad. Nevin, keep your head up. Bring it back to the group, bro. Yeah, next time bring it back to the group. Mi Familia is here for you, but I don't think it's a horrible trade. It could work out. New season. I believe what Perps is saying is true. There's still, light at the end of the tunnel for this trade. You just got to make sure it makes you do a move that you wouldn't normally make. Like I always tell people, you get a speeding ticket. Don't look at it like, oh, God, there's $300 down the drain. Think about that might have made you drive safe for the next week and you don't get in an accident that takes your life. So you gotta look. I know it's a weird analogy, but you gotta look at this trade may make you do something you normally wouldn't do, and that could be opening the door to a deal that gets rid of Kelsey, and you somehow get the best combination of, you get Trey McBride in a something future first rounder, and you give up Mixon or whatever. So just keep at it. You'll figure it out. All right, we'll see you later, Travis.
Yep. Talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah. Perps $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Appreciate you. Guys, don't forget the video right here. Link dropped. Subscribe to that channel right there. That's my vlog channel. Behind the scenes motivation, fitness, entrepreneurship, stuff like that. Go check it out. Video 1 drops in 1 hour. I'll see you all on that channel during that live premiere. Thank you for being here on the Fantasy Football Show for this breaking news edition. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. I'm live whenever big news breaks like this Judy trade. And we'll probably be back because my guess is more breaking news is coming downstream. Appreciate you. Now, on that note, I'll click my Judy button. Oh, wait, I don't have one. We'll have to resort with a little Breece Hall action.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece. He's Breece.
He does a hull of a job. A hull of a job. A hull of a job.
Brees Hall, please report to the moon.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special message from the Bruce's mother.
Get Bijan.
Liftoff of mission 3, 2, 1, 0.